With the elite controller, I'm in control of gaming greatness.
All right, so that's a pretty cool acapella, right? Except it's not an acapella. It's actually a fully mixed track that we're unmixing in real time using Peel stems. So I've isolated just that vocal, but here, let me just bypass this, and here is what this track really is.
The elite controller, I'm in control of gaming greatness, body and soul.
Isn't that cool? I'll turn it back on here as we play.
The elite controller, I'm in control of gaming greatness, body and soul.
And then we just have that vocal. So this is Peel stems. It's a way for you to, peel away the different layers, whether it's, drum, bass, vocals, and the other instruments, and separate those into individual stems that you can then remix or use in other things, or even just rebalance a track. So over the interface here real quick, let's turn all this stuff back on there. So of course these knobs here are going to correspond with the drum, bass, vocals, or other, and you're going to see different colors represented here in your screen here.
I'm in control of gaming greatness.
So the vocals are yellow, the other instruments are so this purple, bass is reddish pink there, and your drums are that greenish color. So we can just adjust the overall level of that to rebalance the track. You can change the amount of separation using these sliders down here. You're just gonna have to kind of play around with it to get the sound that you want. And you can also isolate things by drawing in an EQ focus window, change the shape to whatever you want. You can invert it there, get rid of it there. So let's check that out real quick here.
I'm in control, gaming great.
So I can isolate just the area and the frequencies that I want. So if I have some harshness or something in some area, I can really isolate that. Then I could bounce that out and work on just that area and blend that back in with the original. So there's a ton of stuff that you can do here with Peel stems. So we already looked at sort of isolating a vocal. What about isolating other things here? Let's work on that.
The elite controller.
Maybe in this case, I like the drums and the bass. So in that case, I could turn this down if I want to whatever level I want. By the way, you can double click these knobs, set them to their default. So I could turn that down, or I could just turn off those stems completely. All right, cool. So now I have drums and bass isolated, and I could re-record a different vocal over that. I could head into my instruments, maybe grab Contact 7, start playing some keys or whatever I want, and reuse that sample or reuse. This is an AI generated track, by the way. So I could, get an AI generated track and then just take parts of that track and incorporate it into my music that way. Now, Peel stems does have two different stereo outputs, but your DAW has to be able to take advantage of that second stereo output in order to route that second, say if you isolate an area, right, to isolate that second area into a different track. And to do that, you can just click this question mark icon, and they'll give you different videos on how you can set things up that way. Now, on Cubase, Studio One, and Logic, it's not going to recognize that second stereo output, but there's still a way, a much easier way, in my opinion, to get that audio actually split out into different tracks. And I'll show you how to do that right now. And then we'll come back and look at maybe balancing a track. Go over here to this loop. All right, so it's a full loop, drums, bass, some other stuff in there. And let's say I kind of just want the drums, or maybe the drums and the bass. Let's just play with it. Okay. Maybe just the drums. I could even isolate that further like this if I wanted to. Okay. So let's say that's what I want. I just want that drum loop so I can reuse it with some completely different instruments. Another thing you could do, by the way, is maybe I just want to apply certain effects to the drums and remix them with the original track. Whatever you want to do, we need some way to split that out. Well, the way they're going to show you how to do it, if you watch this tutorial, is they're going to show you that you can just duplicate the track. And if you have a selection like this, you can just invert one of them and don't invert the other. And then you can just put whatever effects you want on that second track. But I'm going to show you a much better way, a much easier way to actually split out just these drums here. I actually don't think I need that selection in this case. All right, so one way you could do this is create a new track. So I'll just do that real quick. Create a new track. In this case, it would need to be stereo. And then all I have to do is come to my input of this track and then change the input of the second track to the output of our first track. And now if I record and enable that, it's going to be kind of loud right now. There we go. So then I just hit record. And then in real time, I have just those drums split out. Just put that on solo. So now we have just the drums here. Right? I'm free to use this loop anywhere I want, use it however I want. Okay, that's one way you could do that in something like Studio One, or actually you could probably do this in every DAW instead of trying to route out directly from the plugin. But there's an even easier way here in Studio One. So what we'll do, instead of doing that, recording it in real time, I'll just select that entire clip there, set things up however you want here in Peel Stems. All right, let's just say we like that. So instead of trying to export that in real time, I'll just right click the clip and choose bounce to new track. Now, if you don't have this in your recent items, just come down to event and go to bounce to new track. Click that. And in faster than real time, it's going to bounce out whatever was on that selection, including all plugins. So our peel, the setting that we had, was maintained for this track here. As you'll see, I put that on solo, and it's just the drums. Right? So again, now I have a completely new loop that I've unmixed from my other loop, my combined loop, and I can use this again however I want with whatever I want. Now, as I said earlier, another thing you could do is separate different instruments out, remix them, and then put them back into, say, your original loop or your original track. So let's do that real quick. In that case, we can, let's just have both of these on. Let's pull up Peel here. Now, in this case, we isolated up here in this track, we isolated just the drums, right? So because we have the drums down here, we don't need to isolate them up here. In this case, we'll turn the drums off, and then we'll turn on the bass, the vocals, and the other, make sure everything is about like that. Oh, actually, first, before I do that, I need to unmute this track, don't I? Because it has been muted. Unmute that event. That's just what Studio One does. Whenever you bounce something out, it will automatically mute that track for you, because that's usually what you want. So now when I mute this drum track here, we don't hear the drums because we took them out of the mix here with Peel Stems. So that means now I can come in here and I can grab whatever effect I want. Maybe I want a phaser. Maybe I want maybe some kind of dirt or something, or driver. Let's just put dirt just on that drum track. And we'll kind of lo-fi it up here. All right. So that's really, really lo-fi. I'm gonna have to turn all this stuff down. That's really lo-fi'd up. So now I can put our lo-fi drums back into our original loop. Okay, so again, use whatever effects you want to remix your loops, remix your sounds. Let's come back over here now to our beginning loop. And we can also rebalance our completely integrated tracks, rebalance them without having to have individual stems, right? Turn this back up. So let's check that out here. Make sure everything is turned on, and I can, if this is turned off, I can hold down Shift and click, double click there. That will turn all of them on, or Shift, and you can turn off everything but what you have selected. Okay, just make sure everything is set up there.
In my hands, the perfect trance with the elite controller.
So I think that vocal is actually a little bit loud.
Shrine, trigger response, joystick sublime, Xbox elite controller. It's my time. Smooth like
All right, so let's just adjust the vocal and rebalance this track.
of my gaming shrine, trigger response, joystick sublime, Xbox elite controller.
So I think somewhere around -3, -4 blends better overall.
Feeling so fine, extension of my gaming shrine, trigger response, joystick sublime, Xbox elite controller.
Yeah, that's much better. Now there's a horn section up here too, which is pretty loud.
Smooth like
Again, I think it's a little bit too loud, so we'll just adjust that with the other right here.
controller. It's my time. Smooth like
All right, that's a bit too much. I think somewhere around -3 should work.
controller. It's my time. Smooth like silk, fits just right.
Works so much better, flows so much better. It's not sticking out so much. It's still loud enough, but it's not, it's not like, whoa, that's way too loud, So again, use peel stems to rebalance your tracks. I could even do things like increase the bass or the drums, or of course, pull them up or down, whatever you want to do.
Elite controller.
Pull that bass way up.
I'm in control of gaming greatness, body and soul.
Turn it down if you want.
Precision grip, feeling so fine.
Maybe you want to play a different, bass track underneath that, where you can just minus out that bass completely if you want. I mean, it's so cool that you can do this right in your DAW. Remix your tracks, separate your tracks, get samples from things.
I'm in control of gaming greatness.
Let's do this.
Body and soul.
I like this vocal, but maybe I want to put reverb on the vocal.
Controller. I'm in control of gaming greatness. Body and soul.
Okay, so we'll do the same trick we did earlier. I'll just right click and I'll say bounce to new track. That's going to bounce out this track here with whatever plugins are on it. It's going to run it all through and faster than real time and leave me with just a vocal track now. Okay. So now we have just the vocals down here.
Oh, precision grip, feeling so fine.
Don't worry about any phasey or weirdness because it's going to be blended back in with the original. So in this case, I'll unmute that and take this off of solo. Bring up peel, and because we have the vocals down here now, we should turn off the vocals here. I'll just hit shift there, turn all those others on. Now turn off the vocals. I may need to mess around with this other a bit. We'll see. Let's see what we got right now.
And so precision grip.
Solo this. Okay, so we've minused out the vocals here.
Trigger response.
We have the vocals down here. So now again, I can grab whatever plugin I want. Maybe I'll grab this reverb and I'll throw reverb on the vocals that I've pulled out of this completely mixed track. And now I can put a little reverb on this.
I'm in control of gaming greatness, body and soul. Precision grip, feeling so fine. Extension.
Now that's pretty cool, right? And then we can blend all that back in with the original. And here's what we got.
In control of gaming greatness, body and soul. Precision grip, feeling so fine. Extension of my gaming shrine.
Oh, that is so cool, man, that you can do that. You can just pull that out, put whatever plugin you want, remix it back in with the original, or of course, I could take this and use it with any other music or sample it or do whatever I need to do with just the part of the audio that I want. Man, it works for drums, your bass, your vocals, your other instruments, whatever you want. Peel stems, awesome. Again, you can isolate things even further if you want to draw in your focus EQ window. Again, this was the original.
Oh, precision grip, feeling so fine. Extension of my game.
Right, then pull those vocals out on this track. We have the vocals down here with a reverb on it, and now we have this.
Control of gaming greatness, body and soul. Precision grip, feeling so fine. Extension of my gaming.
That is just so cool, man. But anyway, that is Peel Stems. This is definitely one to look at, especially if you use a lot of loops, or you just want to rebalance tracks that you already have, or maybe you're getting into AI music. You know, this track here is an AI song, so you can generate your AI songs and then just take, you know, different areas of it, you know, different stems from that AI generated music, and then use it however you want. Now, this isn't going to work on everything. I should be clear. This is not magic. Okay. So if you have an extremely dense mix, it's probably not going to work. For that, you'll still need to go online, you know, to some AI site that can basically regenerate different parts individually and then pull that back into your DAW. This is, you know, Peel Stems is a real-time thing. So if you have an extremely dense mix like this here, right? For that, I don't think I'm going to be able to isolate those vocals, but let's see. All right. It's not horrible, but it's bleeding into other areas. Okay, you can make a karaoke mix like that, you know. Karaoke mix is, you know, really easy here with Peel Stems. You just turn down the vocals a bit. Don't even need to remove them, really. I could probably, maybe I can just isolate the bass and the drums. It's not horrible. Bit of phasiness on the drums here, because again, it's such a dense mix that it may not work for that. Although you could still rebalance or remix certain areas and blend them back in with even a very dense mix like this. But I may not be able to pull out just, say, drums or something, and something, you know, this dense. Yeah, I'm getting some bleed through. You can always come here and bounce just that area to a new track. Okay, so that's just the isolated area that we had. So then you could throw your EQs or whatever you want on there. Maybe I want to use Neutron or something, or maybe I'll grab one of these desks from Plugin Alliance. Maybe throw an SSL on there. Some sort of a drum bus, maybe something like that. There we go. It is phasey because it's such a dense mix, but once I pull the original back in, let's unmute that region. So in this case, I don't think I actually even need that. I'll just turn the drums off in this case here. I think that should work. So my vocals are back up.
In this game we claim our rights. Conquer all without remorse. In Call of Duty, we are the force.
So it is a very dense mix, but I was able to pull the drums out and somewhat EQ them, give them some smash here with our SSL desk. Man, that is just so cool that you can do all of this right in your DAW. All right, so that is Peel Stems. If you want to pick it up for yourself, head right over here. Of course, I have a link in the description below. Currently, the only place I can find this is right on the Zplane site. You know, Sweetwater and Plugin Boutique do have some other Zplane plugins, but currently Peel Stems isn't on there. The original Peel is on there, which I believe I've done a video on, but Peel Stems isn't on there. So maybe eventually they'll be on to Sweetwater and Plugin Boutique. But right now, you'll have to come right to the Zplane site. So head over here, read more about it, and pick it up for yourself. It's actually not that expensive. If you go to buy now, $70 original, but during the intro here, you know, it comes to around 52. Now, if you have the original stems or the original Peel, then you get a huge rebate. I think I paid around $11.35 for the upgrade from the standard peel to peel stems. So if you already have peel, definitely go ahead and get peel stems. If you don't have it, $50 really ain't that big of a deal for something that does real-time stem separation right in your DAW. All right, folks. So once again, that is Peel Stems, one of the one of the coolest plugins for that real-time stem separation right here in your DAW. Go check it out.
Clickety clack, the buttons dance in my hands. The perfect trance with the elite controller. I'm in control of gaming greatness.
To our next level, every move precise, ain't no room for error.
This controller's got me feeling like a pro with the swappable sticks and